So I've got all these coins here that I've got while I was in the Army, and you may not be familiar with them, so let me tell you what the heck these things are. What's up, friends? I'm U.S. Army veteran ThatChrisChaos, and for this episode I'm talking about challenge coins. So what the heck are challenge coins? Well, there's a lot of different stories as far as how challenge coins came about, so first let me tell you about what they are. So I have several of these coins, and I'll tell you a little bit about some of the ones that I have, at least some of my favorite ones at least. Challenge coins are typically given by unit commanders, first sergeants, sergeant majors, different high-ranking officials, and they're given to the soldiers for maybe accomplishments or maybe as a morale kind of gift as welcome to the unit. There's a lot of different various scenarios that a person could receive a challenge coin, possibly is what they're called. Now, there are different myths and different stories about like how challenge coins came to be about. The one story that I've heard, and is I guess apparently the more common story, is that there was a lieutenant back in World War I, I believe, that was fairly wealthy, and he had a bunch of coins made for members of his unit. So this coin had their own like unit crest or unit insignia on the coin, and a lot of the soldiers in that unit carried the coins on them for kind of morale purposes and just kind of honoring the unit. Well, there was one particular soldier that was a pilot. He carried it in a pouch around his neck, and in the war his airplane was shot down. Now, he was captured by the enemy, and they took all of his personal items except for that pouch that was around his neck. At some point in time, he was able to escape and get away, and he ended up using some, I believe, French clothing to try to blend in with the civilian population to try to avoid the enemy. So he was in this French attire, and he came across a French army outpost. So the French military personnel was not sure if this person was legitimately an American soldier or not, and so they were going to actually execute him. But the one thing he did still have with him to try to identify himself was that coin. He didn't have any other form of identification on him. Well, it just so happened to be that one of those French military personnel did recognize the insignia on the coin. And that did buy him enough time to be able to identify himself, and instead of killing him, they ended up buying him like a bottle of wine. So if I mess that story up in any way, I apologize. That's basically how I kind of remember it. Some things may differ here and there, but that's essentially kind of one of the main stories that you may hear about how the challenge coin came about. So from that, it created a tradition where people would carry the unit coins that they were given by their unit. Now, when I was in, I don't know if I had any unit that I was ever in that I was just given a coin just for coming into the unit. But there are apparently units out there that would do this. So from that tradition, people would carry the coin on them at all times, and maybe while they're at a bar, do a challenge. So say, for example, one individual, he wants to challenge someone. So he pulls out his unit coin, slams it on the bar, and that other individual is supposed to present their unit coin. Now, if that person fails to present their unit coin, well, then they are supposed to buy the other person, the one who challenged them, a drink. But if they do happen to have their unit coin, then the person that challenged has to buy that person a drink. There's a lot of different variations. There's also variations where you just throw your coin down on the bar, and everybody in the bar is supposed to, put down their coin, and anybody who doesn't have their coin is supposed to buy all the people who did have their coin a round of drinks. There's also another one that I'm familiar with a little bit more where, you put out the highest ranking coin you have, and whoever has the highest ranking coin, then the lowest ranking coin is supposed to buy the highest ranking coin a drink. There are a lot of variations of this challenge or this game that you may call it, but those are just a couple that I remember. Now, as far as people who have challenge coins, it usually kind of just depends, I guess, on who really wants to spend the money to have the coins made. I mean, if you really wanted, a squad leader, a section leader could make his own coins or her own coins and present them to members of their team. Most commonly, the ones I've always seen is usually like a first sergeant, and then from there it starts working its way up, company commander, battalion commander, and sergeant major, and all sorts of different higher ranking individuals. I don't think I've ever seen anybody lower ranking than like a first sergeant or company commander that has their own challenge coin that they issue to an individual for some kind of achievement. Now, challenge coins don't always have to be based on the rank of an individual. Sometimes they're for events as well. Sometimes they'll be given out to members who participated in something, that they want to issue a coin to. I have a couple of those, and I'll talk about maybe one or two of those ones as well. So there are different variations of challenge coins, either from a unit commander, first sergeant, sergeant major, or specifically for an event. People can also buy challenge coins, but all of my coins are ones that have been given to me, and that's kind of the way I like to keep it, or ones that I've kind of earned or have been given to me because someone felt that I did a great job at something. So a lot of high-ranking military officials have their own coin, including the president. And there are times when the president will give out his challenge coin to members of the military, or even to civilians, whatever the case really might be. And yes, President Trump does have his own coin, and there's been a little bit of controversy with his coin though. His coin is a little bit different than some of the past presidents. It does kind of change up the tradition of having the presidential seal on it. So that kind of made some people mad. I don't know, what's your opinion on it? I don't really care too much. I'll probably never receive a coin from the president anyways. But there is a coin all the way up to the president level. And this is a tradition that's not only in the Army, Air Force, Marines, other branches of military service do have this same kind of tradition where they give out coins for, special occasions or for doing a great job at something. There's even like civilian places, like I believe I read that NASCAR even has their own kind of challenge coins that are issued to individuals for accomplishments. So that's a little bit of information about challenge coins in general, and now I'll share some information about some of the ones that I have personally received. So first up is the very first coin that I ever received from 113 Armor in Fort Riley, Kansas. This coin I believe I received for doing a good job at the National Training Center. It was just me and several other soldiers that got, awarded this coin from our company commander, I believe. So the front of the coin just has the 113 Armor crest. It says 1st Battalion, 13th Armor with the slogan, "It shall be done." And the back of it has an M1 Abrams tank and then some locations of some battles from the unit. This coin was actually, I believe, my first event type of themed coin. This one wasn't really specifically presented from like a battalion commander or sergeant major or anything like that. This one was presented because I was present during the ceremony for the 50th anniversary of the signing of the armistice from North Korea, South Korea. So while stationed in Korea, they had this ceremony kind of celebrating the 50 years of this kind of ceasefire that they had going on at the time, which kind of seems funny because I guess it's done now, or I'm not sure if that's official or not, but it's kind of funny thinking about it now. But it was 50 years since they signed that armistice to cease fire against North Korea and South Korea. So they had this thing, I was there to stand guard and make sure no civilians ran across the border into North Korea, and for doing that job, I received a 50th anniversary coin. So the front of the coin just has United States Forces Korea with the dates of the Korean War, and then this kind of like a Korea, United States type of logo with the 50th anniversary of the Korean War. And then the back side has Korean War Armistice Signing Commemoration, United Nations Command, a little soldier that's, I guess, signing a piece of paper, holding a piece of paper, and then the date, July 27th, 2003. I have 3 coins that are actually pretty large. The rest of them are, kind of like the size of like a 50-cent piece, a little bit bigger than that, but these 3 are larger than all of the other coins that I have. And they're for different things. This one, funny thing, this says JSA on it. This was from the Joint Security Area when I was in Korea. And I got this one because me and some other guys won the talent show in Seoul, Korea. So since we got first place in the talent show, the commander gave us all this big ass JSA coin. Front of the coin just got the JSA logo, United Nations Command Security Battalion, and then the slogan in front of them all. It's got a little spot in the front where maybe it was supposed to be engraved with like a number or something, but I guess that didn't happen. And then the back of the coin just got the JSA logo, and it says Commander's Coin for Excellence. And then it's got the slogan in front of them all, which was the slogan of the Joint Security Area. This other big one is a heart-shaped one, and I really didn't do a whole lot, I don't think, to receive this one. We were doing some kind of joint mission with 2nd Brigade Combat Team from the 101st, and their commander ended up giving us all this coin for doing a great job in this joint mission, which I don't think I even remember what the mission was. But the front of the coin's got the 101st logo with the strike logo, which I believe was the 2nd Brigade Combat Team's kind of like logo. And it says 101st Airborne Division. And the back side of it's got a colonel's rank and a sergeant major rank, and then OIF for Operation Iraqi Freedom 0709 for 2007 to 2009, and presented for excellence in combat. And this last big one was actually from my last unit before I got out of the Army. They were the last unit I deployed with, and they gave me a big coin for deploying to Iraq with them. And I have one from the first unit that I deployed with, but this one's a really big one, so I thought I'd share about this one. And it was presented to me from 410 Cav. By the front of it, it's got this buffalo from the Buffalo Soldiers, which is part of the history from 410 Cav. And at the bottom, it's got Blackjack, which was the name of the brigade. And underneath the buffalo, it's just got the slogan Ready and Forward, which was our slogan for the unit. On the back, it's got Operation Iraqi Freedom 0709. This one is individually numbered. This one is 0594. And it says awarded for excellence in combat. And then at the very bottom, it's got the different troops, which was Apache, Blackfoot, Comanche, Dragoon, and Hatchet Troop. So this coin is the highest ranking coin that I own. Now, that's why it kind of comes into a little bit of debate. Now, I feel like this is the highest possible coin you can earn because this coin is the highest ranking official in the military. While yes, a vice president or presidential coin would be higher ranking than this is from the Joint Chief of Staff, which is the highest ranking active duty military person in the military. And this coin was awarded to me by Admiral Mike Mullen. So he is an admiral, so he is in the Navy, as the Joint Chief of Staff can be from really any branch of the military. But that person is overall in charge, basically, of the military, kind of, to a certain capacity, I guess. I won't go really in depth into how that role works, but just know that essentially this is the highest ranking active duty military personnel. So I didn't really do anything special to earn this coin. I was in Baghdad, and it was my second tour to Iraq. And me and a bunch of people had to go listen to Admiral Mike Mullen speak at this little speech that he was giving on base. After he was done with his speech, he said if anybody wants a coin from him, then just form a line and hang out and he'll give us a coin. So a bunch of us stuck around, stood in line, got up to him, said hi, shook his hand, gave me a coin, and I moved on. And that's how I ended up getting a coin from the Joint Chief of Staff. So the front of the coin has the Joint Chief of Staff logo, and then around the outer edge has Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff. And the back of it has this flag with the signature from Mike Mullen, and around the outside saying presented by Admiral Mike Mullen. So there you go, there's a handful of my coins, plus a little bit of history about the challenge coins. If any of you out there are currently in the military or have been in the military, leave me some comments down below. What is your favorite coin that you have received? And for those of you that are not in the military, maybe let me know what you think about, President Trump's coin. Do you think it's okay the way it looks, or you think he should have stuck to tradition? Also, do you feel my Joint Chief of Staff coin is the highest coin that you should go with, or do you feel like the president's one should fall in there? Like I said, I feel like it should be someone who's actually in the military, but technically, I guess the president and vice president coin would be higher ranking than that one. So if you enjoyed that video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you want to check out some more of my videos from other different topics to learn more about the Army or military in general, check these guys out. If you like this type of stuff and you want to see more content from yours truly, then make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I'm ThatChrisChaos, and I'll see you next time. See ya.